political climate changes and just the society in general, how they look at things change. And so you could do things then, even if you weren't supposed to do them, and probably get away with it than you would now. And sometimes when you tell stories like this from a particular specific group of individuals that do a particular job, it can get blown out of context. That people aren't aware of certain things. They tend to look at it in a different way, and sometimes it seems worse than it really is. But every job has that sort of a thing. If you're working at a prison, you could probably have some kind of humor that would be looked upon as being badly, but it's your way of dealing with the types of stress you have in that job. So there's some of that, and just silly stories, but people doing stuff that would be a lot of fun to tell if you were sitting down and sharing a couple of beers or something with somebody. You're never sure how that's going to translate to the big screen. No, it's funny. I mean, there are a lot of stories, individual stories about people that probably are the most fun to talk about. But then again, you might not want to do that because you would be telling the story, but you wouldn't have had permission by all these other people that might not want that story out there, even if it's not a bad story. They might be embarrassed about it or whatnot. And then nowadays, with the internet, I mean, it's everywhere. So, and you can't take it back, so it's a whole different ballgame. It's funny, I know, well, we jumped the fire in the Idaho Panhandle once, out of Missoula, and there was two of us. It was hard to even find the fire. It was a really tiny tree, and it took us probably 2 hours to even find the darn thing. But I was coming down, I was almost getting ready to land, and I'd gone past this tree, and it wasn't very big, but it just caught my parachute just as I was going by it. And so I was even preparing to land, and it just pulled me back. And actually it spun around the tree a couple of times, like a maypole, And I'm dangling there. I'm probably only about 12 feet off the ground. It wasn't very, very high. We went, found the fire, finally, lined it, put it all out, and we were supposed to go off this trail, and then they told us where this old trail was from the 30s that they built, the CCC had built it. And we were going to try to find it. Well, we had to find our gear, and we're looking all over the place. This guy's from Portland, I'm from New York, we're looking all over. We get up on this little ridge, and we think we're close, and we look back, and we could see the parachute in the tree way over there, and wow, we were way off from this, And then we went back and got it. And that's what he jokes about that still, about, two city boys lost in the Idaho wilderness and were able to, well, screw up, actually saved us because we saw I wasn't planning on landing in the tree, but it actually helped us, find our way out of there. Stuff like that is kind of funny. And we had a jumper who just wrote a book about his experience, not only jumping, but just in fire and other things. And he talks about getting lost, and having to be rescued by rappellers, and to start a little fire to get rescued. And I mean, that's he tells about it in the book too. But the indignity of being rescued by rappellers, because you're lost in the woods, was not something that you really want to tell everybody. I mean, even if you're okay with it over time, it just it gets bad, because it's kind of embarrassing. So there's stuff like that. And there's a ton of stories like that that could be embarrassing to people, even though they're funny. And they're funny for a lot of people, but if there were 20 people in this room, I could tell the story, but I wouldn't want it to go